This is the longest true horrifying story episode. This episode is worth the time. The story took place in Nador, Morocco in the year 2015. The story was submitted by Ilyas. Back in 2015, Ilyas was an 18-year-old Moroccan Muslim that lived in Norway. One night, Ilyas was back in Morocco visiting family, and he stayed up late watching a movie at home till 3 in the morning. The living room was very warm, so he got up to open the window for fresh air. As he was at the window, being at the 4th floor in that building, he looks down, and the street was dark and empty, but there was one man wearing black from head to toe with a hood covering his face. He wasn't sure why that man was outside at that time. He looked away, but then peeked one last time out of curiosity. When he looked at him again, the man had his hands on a building's wall. He was strangely just feeling the wall, and out of nowhere, the man vanishes through that wall. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief after what he just witnessed. Ilyas swears that there was no door in that spot. It was just physically impossible. He forgets about this after a while, and then flies back to Norway. 6 months later, in Norway, Ilyas experiences his first ever sleep paralysis, which in Islam is known as Jathum. He vividly remembers having a conversation with a dark figure, and his mom also witnessed him speak in his sleep. He woke up after the paralysis with swollen feet and rashes all over his body. They rushed to the ER, and none of the doctors could diagnose what caused his body to react that way. He was finally discharged after treatment, but after that day, Ilyas was never the same person. He always acted differently. He was antisocial. He was distant from people. And his mom always told him that he needed ruqya. A few months later, they fly back to Morocco for the next holiday season. He was always against his mother's ruqya idea. However, he decided to fight his thoughts and do it. He had a cousin that was also suffering, and she visited a raqi in Morocco quite regularly. So they went together with both of their moms. When they reached, they sat down and waited for their session. Ilyas could hear the raqi in the other room, and he felt extremely uneasy and started to sweat. The Quran recitation, the ruqya, the sounds, made him not even want to look at that direction. He was angry. He went outside for a moment to gain back his senses until their turn finally reached. The raqi called them in and started. Ilyas's cousin immediately started reacting horribly when the Quran started. She was screaming so loud. Ilyas started losing senses throughout his entire body. He was sweating, he was unable to move, and he was shouting from fear. He does pray, and he does read Quran, but he was so confused as to why he was screaming. He felt like he was being tortured. The slightest pinch from the raqi felt like it was a knife stab. It was very powerful, and this is where he felt a jinn's presence inside of him. The following night was the most horrific night for Ilyas. For a whole week, the man was not able to sleep alone, and he would get mentally abused by these demons haunting him. Weeks go by. Ilyas started getting demonic thoughts of harming his own family. He hated everyone. When he would look at his own sister, her face would seem distorted to him. He knows these beings are playing with his head. His whole life turned upside down. He would regularly think of harming his own family, but luckily, he never did. A few months later, Ilyas was back in Norway, and life was back to normal. He was relieved that he was in a good state of mind and that the horror was over. At the time, he worked at a local grocery store. After a Christmas celebration at work, which he did not participate in, it was late at night. He was walking one of his colleagues back home from work. She was a young woman, and she was scared to walk alone. After they reached outside her place, she asked him, "Where's that other girl that was with us?" "What girl?" Elias asked. "There was no one there. It was just you and I." She swore that there was another woman with black hair, pale skin, standing next to him the whole time, staring at Elias's colleague with anger. Even though this entity gave Elias a break, this jinn was still around, haunting everyone that has intentions towards Elias.
Don't ever forget that walking away from something so toxic and so unhealthy is so brave, even if you stumble on your way out.
Hey guys, let's talk about why my high school friend literally ghosted me and did not talk to me ever again. So, first of all, this is not I'm not the problem. She was the problem and she was weird as fuck. So, we were besties, I guess. We were friends because her bestie went with my bestie, so then me and her became besties or whatever. So we always hung out. I always went over to her house. She always came over to my house and all this shit. And this was already after high school, so we're we're grown. We're 19, 20, whatever. And this girl, she always how do I say it? She's a presumida, she shows off her daddy's money and what her family has, and she paints it as it's her stuff, her money, her cars, her all this shit. So she basically wanted to feel like she was rich or she had money, but in reality she didn't. So she was always oh, in a nice car or whatever. She just bragged about, well, not bragged, but se hizo pasar como que si tenía mucho dinero and all this shit, you know? And one day she came to visit me, and I live I used to live close by a taco truck, and she's oh, we should go get a taco truck or whatever. And I was hella down. I was hungry. I was yeah, let's go. And I took money just in case, even though she's always oh, I got it, I'll pay for it. She's always carrying around expensive bags, Michael Kors, fucking, I don't even know if they're name brand bags, but that's how she was. And so we went to go get taco truck, and then when the man, he was oh, he told us our total, she said she was gonna pay, she said she got it, you know. So I was okay, whatever. And then she was all rummaging into her purse and shit, oh, I don't have my cash or whatever. And I was oh, don't worry about it, I brought money just in case, because just in case. And so I paid, and then she was oh my god, thank you, I thought I had money in my purse or whatever, I'll pay you back or whatever. And I was no, it's fine, I'm not bugging, I'm not tripping about that. And we didn't really hang out a lot because she lived in another town or whatever. She lived 10 minutes maybe away, but we had our own life and shit. And we would text and shit. And this one time she asked me for money. Now, this is where the story gets juicy. So she asked me for money because she said that she was going to go get her hair done. And that I guess, she didn't have enough or whatever. And if I can send her some money, you know. And then I was yeah, for sure. I don't mind. How much do you need? And she was oh, I just need 100. You know, I came to get my hair done. And, you know, a fucking bullshit ass excuse. And I was okay, yeah, for sure. So I sent it to her. I sent the $100, and I mean, she didn't lie. She did go get her hair done. But then she was acting hella weird after, and she was oh, I'll see when I can go to your house, to pay you back or whatever. And then I was yeah, for sure, don't worry about it, you know, whatever. And then she was no, I'm gonna go pay you back this day, let me know if you're home. And then we were texting, and I was yeah, I'm home, or I think that day I wasn't home, but then I got home and I texted her. I was hey, I'm home, if you're free, you can come by and bring the money. And she deadass didn't text me at all after that. And I texted her again, oh, did you forget, or some fucking shit. I wasn't oh, I need my money right now, you know. I wasn't tripping about that. I was just oh, you said you were gonna bring the money, like, I'm home now, you know? And so she, like, kind of lagged after that, and I wasn't gonna be fucking annoying, like, texting her, like, every time, you know? But I was, like, kind of, like, I need my money, I want my money, like, you know? And then after a while, like, we didn't talk at all, or some fucking shit happened, I don't know. And, like, we just, like, stopped talking. Like, she just stopped talking, she stopped texting me, like, everything. And then I was like, okay. And then I go, like, check, like, our friendship shit on Snap, and she had fucking, like, removed me from her friends. She either removed me or blocked me or some shit, because, she was still watching my stories, and I couldn't see her stories, and, like, it was just, like, fucking weird. And then I was like, what the fuck? This weird-ass bitch literally, like, fucking removed me from her fucking friends, and not talked to me at all. And so I removed her from my Snap, too, because I was like, what the fuck? You wanna act weird as fuck? Like, for what? For what? And then, so she used to, like, talk hella shit about her, like, other friend, like, her friend before me that we, like, switched off, like, you know, like, the thing that I said in the beginning. And she was always talking shit about her. And then one time, like, I saw that she was, like, posting about her or some shit, that they're like hanging out together, like, at her house. Like, the other girl went over to her house, and I was like, what the I was like, what is going on? Like, you were just talking shit about this fucking girl, and now you're, like, besties again with her, but you cut me off because you owe me fucking money, bitch? Like, you're fucking weird as fuck. And so from there, I was like, yeah, no, goodbye. I fucking unfollowed her from Instagram. I don't have her on Snap. Like, I think I still have her number, but she probably blocked me. I don't fucking know. And it's just like, you really try to paint yourself as a fucking rich bitch over here, thinking that you can pay for everything, but you can't even pay for your fucking hair appointment, and you can't even pay the person back. And to this day, she has not fucking paid me back. And it's been, like, maybe years, like, maybe 2-3 years, I don't fucking know, but it's been a while. And the bitch still hasn't paid me back. Like, I'm not, okay, yeah, it's $100. Obviously, I'm gonna trip, but I'm not gonna make a big-ass deal about it. Like, I can go to her house. I can fucking pull up to her house and be like, hey, like, give me my money. But I'm not like that. Like, if you wanna fucking be a fucking weird-ass bitch and not pay me back, like, that goes to show what kind of person you are. And for her to fucking go back with her bestie or whatever and post on her fucking Instagram story that, oh, she's hanging out with her and all this shit, like, bitch, you're supposed to be paying me back, ho. The fuck? And so, yeah, I cut her off. She was fucking acting weird as fuck. She didn't want to fucking pay me. Okay, I don't know. She's just, but, yeah. That's the story, and that's why bitches be weird as fuck.
Y'all didn't ask for this story time, but let me tell y'all what the fuck happened last night. So I'm laying down in my bed, peacefully sleep. I'm knocked out. I was a little tipsy, so you know that sleep. Excuse how I look, I'm sorry. But y'all know how that sleep be. Why? Okay, I've been watching The Walking Dead. Now, they've been having all these crazy ass alarms and stuff going on and all that. So while I'm asleep, I hear the alarm going off. Now, it's not a fire alarm. This sounds like it's an emergency. Everybody find the nearest stairway, evacuate the building. It's an emergency. Mind you, I'm asleep. I'm thinking the alarm is in my dreams because I've been watching The Walking Dead. Shit, I thought I was dreaming about me being in The Walking Dead too. I thought I had to get going. So I'm still asleep. Like, you know, that's the dream. My brother busts in my door. He like, sister, what do we do? I'm like, this is real. This is real. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, come on, we go get our stuff, get in the car. Mind you, my mom's in the urn, okay? So my dad's not here. He called my dad. He's like, just go. I'm gonna see what everybody do. But mind you, we go outside. All the doors, like, to the hallways are closed. You know how when you're in the elevator and the elevator door is open and it's a closed door? It's all that. And I was like, do we need to grab mommy? Because she finna come too. We went downstairs. The firefighters was here. It ended up not being nothing. Y'all, this lash is bothering the fuck out of me. It wasn't nothing. But I just wanted to tell y'all how I was, like, out of it. Like, I didn't think it was a zombie apocalypse, but thought it was intruder or something. Like,
At night, I got a girl's number.
You asked for her number.
I got her number, yes.
I'm sick right now.
Guys, I want to tell you guys a story of my experience with, from what I think was a cannibal when I was 15 years old. So I met this guy. He lived in my city. And by the way, he's famous. Like, he has 2 million followers, and he hasn't posted in a really long time. And when I go to his page, people are like, oh, where are you? Like, he's doing a mental health break. No, babe. No. If you look his name up on the internet, it says blank groomed me, blank allegations. I think he has too many victims that have posted stuff. And I think he's paying people off, because when you click on those search recommendations, it's just a bunch of nothing. It takes you to his TikTok, and DMCAs are a thing. So, and I understand DMCAs. You can pretty much get anything you want taken down if you pay somebody. So, basically, I met this guy. The first time we ever hung out, he was like, you're not wearing that, go inside, and changed my outfit. And before you think, oh, he was dressing you a little bit more modest, no, this guy literally picks out like the skimpiest outfit ever. He turns my crop top into a bra and my jeans into a skirt, which I didn't really care. I was, at the time, you guys, living with my sisters in an apartment, and my mom and her boyfriend lived 2 hours away, and we were all just attending the high school down the street. So I didn't really have much, and he was buying me groceries that day, so I was like, period, a man I can use. And that sounds really horrible, but I was in like fight or flight my whole growing up. So the first time I ever hung out with him, it really wasn't that bad. All he did, though, that was like red flaggish, was like he brought up an ex. He was like, oh, like, I hurt my ex so bad, like, and I'm just thinking, like, oh, like, maybe he, like, cheated on her, like, you know, like, and so I was rebounding with this guy. I just got my heart broken, so I was like, oh, like, what happened, you know, like, what's the problem, why, and he was like, oh, like, I hurt her, and now, like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, by hurt, did he mean, like, try to eat her, like, okay, so he already was like verbally abusive on like day 2 of us hanging out. I was in this man's car, and I was VAPING, and he snatched out my hands, and he was like, pointed at a homeless guy, and he was like, do you want to be fucking homeless? Like, getting in my face, yelling at me, calling me like a low life, basically. And I'm just like crying, begging him to stop. Like, this man's in my face screaming at me, and I'm like, please stop. Like, okay, like, and he's like, you're sleeping at my house tonight, and I'm taking these, and you're going 24 hours without them if you want them back. So he like has my stuff. So I stay the night at his house that night, and I throw up of anxiety, and I get my stuff back in the morning. And I should have left, but I was 15 at this time, and I didn't have like any self-respect at all. And evil enough, this is like the best influence I have in my life at the time. He doesn't want me doing bad stuff, like, okay, so one day, another time I stayed the night at his house, he was like, what are your grades? Let me see your grades. And I'm like, oh my god. I show him my grades, and he's just like, you know, like angry once again, mad, like, you're sorting this out right now. So he brings me over to his desk, and he's like, sit on my lap, and he forces me to write an email to every single teacher that I had a bad grade in their class, and explain myself, and like basically ask for extra credit and chances to fix my grades. And so he's like forcing me to do this, and he's like, if you can get your grades up, I will buy you a SIM card. But I will just buy you a SIM card because I need to be able to get a hold of you. So, free SIM card? Question mark. Obviously, it's very questionable, very weird. And so one night I come over to his house, And that night, he had just bought a ring light, and I helped him set it up. And he's like, let's use this ring light, like, let's do a photo shoot. I have, like, a great idea in mind. So I'm like, okay, like, I'm down for photo shoots, because he was pretty TikTok famous. Like, I think at the time he had, like, 800K on TikTok. This was in 2020. And, so we would do, like, photo shoots, because I had, like, 15K on TikTok at the time. So we would do, like, photo shoots and things like that. So he's like, okay, so take your clothes off and lay on the bed like this. So, like, helps me get situated in a position. He's like setting his phone. He's like, I will be right back. And he comes back with a knife and a fork and records everything. And then he's like, with the photos of it, he sends it to my phone and, like, takes my phone and posts it to my private Instagram so that my, like, ex, who wasn't my ex, would see it. And yeah, he made me post it. A very inappropriate, violent photo. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm never hanging out with this man again. Like, this is so odd. I want to go home. So he takes me home, and as I'm shutting my apartment door, he's like, can I come in? Like, and I'm, yes, you can come in. Like, I have to go to bed soon. I'm tired, you know? I just wanted to be able to hit my stuff without him getting angry at me. So I'm like, oh, please hurry. He comes to my house, and he's like, sit on my lap, and he's like talking to me. And he's like, you know, like, do you know who my idol is? And I'm like, who? Who's your idol? And he says, Ted Bundy. And I'm like, oh. That makes a lot of sense after the last ordeal. So anyways, I cut him off. I don't say anything. I simply ghost him. And I'm, like, avoiding this problem. I ghost him. So after a couple of days of ghosting him, he's, like, spamming me, nonstop texting, like, where are you? Answer me. And I'm just avoiding him, staying at my neighbor's house at the time, because I had, like, a neighbor next door who also didn't have parents, who was my age. And he was, like, my best friend at that time. I'm staying at his house, and I come home to my apartment just to grab some stuff, to grab some face wash, my toothbrush and stuff, because I was kind of living with my friend at this time. And I didn't have a key to this apartment. None of us had a key to this apartment, and he knew that. My mom, for some reason, like, out of punishment, like, took the apartment keys so that we couldn't lock the door anymore. I don't know. I don't know what it was about. I think it was so nobody would lock the door. And so he knew that my door didn't lock. And I come home one day, and I go in my elevator on the way to the apartment room, and I, like, smell the air, and I'm like, it really smells like this guy. Like, it smells like he was in here. And I'm walking down the hall to my apartment, and I'm like, what? It actually smells like he's here. I open my apartment door, and I go inside, and is he in here? And I go into my bedroom, and there's an outfit laid out on my bed. So yeah, anyways, that was a whole ordeal. I ended up running away, not because of him. And by the way, my sister to this day is always like, how, dude, he knew you didn't have a fucking key. Like, I can't believe you put us in like, my sister gets mad about it. Like, this guy was so creepy. So even my friend too, my home girl that I lived with, like, she knew about all this. He was harassing me in my TikTok comments, going off when I was living with her. And there was this, like, TikTok of him, like, to this audio where it's like, run, rabbit, run, or something like that. And every time we'd hear it, she would, like, scream, and she was like, we were, like, scared, because we would, like, envision him, because he was, like, this in the fucking video, and oh my gosh, traumatizing. And I didn't really register it until I turned 16. I was like, that's really weird. Oh, and I just want to say, you guys, I was 15 when this all happened, and when I met him, I thought he was 18, but I just looked up his age, and he's 4 years older than me. So